Hey there, sorry here. I've got another team that I just threw together just real quick. I just wanted to try something against this latest unit exclusive trial, the Dragon King and War Goddess. Now, this one uses a little bit more gear. We're going to get this one done in 3 turns instead of 5. And you see we've got Summoner Rydia there. She actually has, she's been given a leader skill as well that does 100% attack and mag to ice category units. So we're going to be using her, and we're going to do a little bit of a quicker clear. Now this clear does have a little bit of RNG factor to it. It depends on which elements Azura imperils us to on turn 1, and then which elements Bahamut uses on turn 2, because it could result in death and dismemberment on turn 2. So I'm going to get right in there and show you how I got this done. All right. So the setup for this is pretty simple. Like I said, there's just a little bit of RNG. So if you don't like RNG, you like it just straightforward where you know nothing bad's going to happen, this might not be the clear for you. So Raegan is going to use Resolute Mind. So that comes from the special Step Up Vision card with Laswell on it. So that's the 100% ice ramp. So he'll have 100% ice amplify on turn 3. Fryevi is just going to do her usual break, double flick for sword. Sword Imperil, everyone's wielding, well, I should say Raegan and Rydia are wielding swords. Yoshi and Elena are irrelevant. Elena is going to do Crystal Refrag for the elemental buffs, and then Radiant Shield. Alright, Yoshikiri is going to do Smoke Curtain, Hikikomori, and finishing combo. Rydia is going to do Hymn of the Faith Plus. That gives her the 80 times mod boost to her Brave Shift LB, which is an ice evocation damage. Alright, so you see we've resisted all of those, but we've also been imperiled to all of those elements. So the question is, okay, so currently Raegan is weak to wind, so we don't want Bahamut to do a wind elemental attack. He's also been imperiled to fire, so hopefully Bahamut doesn't do fire. But it looks like Bahamut can do any assortment of the other elements on his attacks, and Raegan will be fine. Everyone else is pretty much covered because everyone else has pretty high resistances. You see, Rydia is covered. Everyone else is pretty much covered. It really just depends on whether or not Raegan dies on this turn. Hopefully he doesn't. Okay, so he'll do his mod boost, double multi-rigger. Fry's going to shift and do Frost Blossom, triple preparation, because we really want to get Elena's LB filled up. There we go. So we can do her LB. Alright, Yoshi's going to shift. And we'll do, what are we going to do on this one? Oh yeah, BA start, duh. BA start on Raegan. That's his intrinsic ability. And then double Hikari, whatever that is called, to hopefully fill up his LB gauge. If it doesn't get filled up, that's fine. No big deal. So Rydia will do Grant Me Your Strength, Miss Dragon's Protection, and Blizzaga, so that the boss switches over to Magic Resist. Alright, Moment of Truth. What elements is Bahamut going to throw at us, and is Raegan going to die? Don't do wind. Earthquake's fine. Wow, we got, yeah. So excellent. So you see the risk is pretty low. The risk is pretty minimal. It's just really, it only becomes a problem if Azura imperils like all 3 of the elements that that Bahamut does on turn 2. In that case, Raegan will die. Everyone else will survive just fine, but Raegan will die, and then you'll have to start it over. All right, so now we are good to go. We are just going to kill this guy. We have Yoshi's LB, which is good. We'll use it for the LB buff, for really just for Rydia. Triple AMOE to chain with Raegan. Yoshi can do his LB. Okay. Now Rydia can shift and do her LB. All right, she's going to do a fairly hefty chunk of damage. You notice we don't even care about the break bar. We're going to ignore it. We're going to do. I honestly don't even know if the break bar is doing anything in this fight. You know, I went through all the trouble to break the bar in the last fight. I don't even know if it's even doing anything, to be honest with you. But yeah, so here we go. Let's nuke this guy. Boom! There's the big hit from Rydia. Nice. Yeah, I think the boss only has like 13 billion HP, so lots of overkill there. All right, let's see what the spread was. Yeah, wow, Rydia doing quite nice there. All right, 6 billion on her own, 10 billion from Raegan. Nicely done. So that's just another way you could clear that fight and a little bit quicker. I know there are lots of like first turn kills using like Ayaka and stuff like that. I'm you know, that's great and all. If you can kill in the first turn, if you got all the units, then you're not bothering to look at guides really. But yeah, this is just another one that I came up with. Let's take a look at the gear. All right, you can ignore everything in her normal form. In her Bracers form, however, she is full evade, and you would like her to be 100% to pretty much everything, but 90% to everything is fine. I think it's only a 100% imperil that Azura does on turn 1. So as long as everybody is, you know, fairly resistant to everything, you're fine. And then yeah, 100% physical evade. There you go. Yep. Lots of LB fill for her. You want her LB up by turn 2 for the killer buffs. All right. Raegan, pretty similar build to before. I just threw some more Clash gear in there for him. If I had the Emperor's ring, I would have done that. He doesn't need chain cap boost at all, so don't worry about that. Just make sure he's full on LB damage. Make sure he's got capped on his killers, Demon, Human, Dragon, Reaper, 300% LB damage. And yeah, this card's pretty important for him to do big PP damage on turn 3. So that's where the Resolute Mind ability comes from. So it does the ice ramp, 100% on turn 3. All right. You could build your Raegan to be TDH, but frankly, it kind of comes out even, and I prefer TDW in this case because the damage is more consistent. Obviously, if you do a high roll, you do like stupid amounts of damage, but you know, this just makes it more consistent. Rydia, just giving her some spirit and 100% across the board, at least elemental resists. Yuna's necklace +1 for the 80 times mod boost. That's where that Hymn of the Faith plus comes from. Does the 80 times LB mod boost to evocation LBs. That's what made her LB so strong. And then yeah, just elemental resist gear. So I gave her this one just because this one has the unrestricted 500 mag with 100% mag passive. Because even with that in her Brave Shift form, her mag's pretty low. Even with like the dark vision sword and all this gear and everything, her mag is still quite low. You know, she could use a little help, but she did all right. She did all right. Couldn't have cleared it without her. All right, so she is not quite capped on Evo damage, but capped on everything else that matters, LB and Esper damage there. So good to go, Rydia. Way to go. And then yeah, Yoshi, really just make sure he's got elemental resist across the board. Yeah, LB fill, make sure he's got LB fill per turn to try and get his LB up by turn 3, and pretty much good to go. Yep. So there you go. Just another way you can handle this boss. Hope it was helpful, or maybe not. Hopefully it was entertaining at least. And thank you guys for following me. I will see you on the other side.